Welcome to Facebook for the Blind, your look at the downfall of Western civilization through the best memes we can find each week. Ladies and gentlemen, it is that time of the week we like to celebrate Facebook for the Blind, a show for the visually and Facebook impaired. I'm your humble host, Eric. How are you tonight? Good. Let's get to the news so we can get to some funny memes. Last week, the President of the United States decided to confront climate change and decided upon the bleakest, most Mad Max-looking background possible to make the announcement. My God, it's devastation. We also had the 8th episode of the January 6th hearing with lots of key moments. Not really. It was basically just everybody talking about how a 79-year-old man watched way too much television. And, what 76-year-old man hasn't, decided not to take action to solve problems and just go watch TV? Anyway. Later, the tangerine toddler threw a tantrum at one of his Nuremberg-type rallies. Apparently, he was mad that people saw his outtakes of his video apology, all 932 of them, where he disclosed his difficulties in things like reading and pronouncing the word yesterday. Speaking of yesterday, Steve Bannon, enemy of the show, Steve Bannon, I don't know what this garbage is, but Steve Bannon called for 4,000 shock troops to dismantle the U.S. government brick by brick. That's right, newly convicted for contempt of Congress, Steve Bannon is now calling for a coup. So we'll see if, anyone out there with legal authority could be paying attention to that. That would be nice. Recently added to the Facebook for the Blind Legion of Doom, Alan Dershowitz is in the news because he decided that after Steve Bannon made a complete ass of himself and was convicted, that he should talk about it and should come out in support of him. Even though, the jury only took 3 hours to convict Bannon, and they took a lunch. Still, Dershowitz, enemy of the show, Legion of the Hall of Doom, and a complete twat burglar. Also, in terms of like one of the most risible people in the Congress, Marge Trader Green, she just basically came right out and said that she was for Christian nationalism. Yeah, that's right. Just said, I'm for Christian nationalism. So if you had any doubt that she was a fascist, she just told you. That's fun.
Yep.
Today, a woman was shot after opening fire inside Dallas Love Field Airport. So, for all those people that say that we don't have enough equal opportunity in there's too much sexism, women getting in on the whole mass shooting things. Good for you, ladies. Also, there's a disturbing trend of corporations purchasing single-family homes. Currently, 1 in 7 homes in the United States is now owned by an investment corporation. To which some of my status quo-loving Democrat friends online said, oh, no news here. This has been going on since the beginning of time. And I was like, no, this is actually a trend that is accelerating, as illustrated in this colorful chart, where you can watch the percentage of homes being purchased over the last 20 years being gobbled up by corporations, therefore raising rents to an astonishing degree. It was Amelia Earhart's birthday, July 24th. She was an American author and aviation pioneer. Earhart made history as the first woman to fly solo across the Atlantic Ocean. Happy birthday, Amelia Earhart. If she hadn't disappeared, she'd be 125 years old. Quick reminder here. Sorry?
I just said, goddamn.
Quick reminder here from friend of the show, Beef Ultra Maga Supreme, who says, this is your friendly reminder that 27 days ago, Ghislaine Maxwell was sentenced to 20 years in prison for trafficking children to ... nobody, apparently. Her little black book still closed, even though I'm sure somebody's got to look at it, so that's fun. And here's a little post from Practical Populist reminding us that before you listen to Bill Gates about anything, remember he visited Epstein's Island at least 17 noted times. There's a little picture of Bill and Jeff Epstein there. Yay! Study found a very disturbing correlation between the racial demographic shifts and those people who decided to go to the Capitol and riot on January 6th. And the basic sum up is they come from counties where the white share of the population is declining the fastest. And that correlation is so strong, you almost got to lean towards causation at that point. It really is white flight to the Capitol to go riot. It's freaking crazy. Let's see, we got something else here. I know something. Oh, yeah, Russia said it's going to quit the International Space Station, and St. Louis is facing historical flooding today. Flash floods, I heard some crazy things. 8 foot of water in some places briefly. So, St. Louis, not even safe. This is the portion of the show where we close with a cutesy animal story, which I thought was going to be this delightful post from Fegan at the Fegan, who says an octopus changing colors in her sleep might be an indication that she is dreaming. And if you look at it, I mean, heck, I don't know what's going on there, but it's changing colors and it's sort of sleeping. I don't understand quite how it's sleeping. Kind of looks like it's got its, like, I don't know, it's sort of like upside down, like on the surface of the water, but you're under the water, but it's changing colors all over the place. Its eyes are closed, and hey, maybe that is an indication that she's dreaming. But no, that was not the best animal story this week. No, dreaming octopus? No, not even. It was Freya the walrus. That's right, seen in the waters of Norway, coming to a boat near you if you happen to be in Oslo. She is having one hell of a hot girl summer, sinking boats all around. She's just hopping up and flipping boats, sunning herself. It's been awesome, and all the news coverage of it has been adorable, and almost none of it mentioned that the reason she's there is because climate change. Had another interesting story here. Wanted to point out, this is a crazy one because this one is an animal story, and the Facebook for the Blind weekly memecast post with the most. As you can see here with the 529 people that we reached on Facebook, this one reached 174 from friend of the show, Father Nathan Monk. Dom LS reposts, "Wake up, babe, the new Jesus just dropped," because an Italian shark has a virgin birth after 10 years in an all-female shark tank. That's right. The baby was born in an all-female shark tank with no father in sight.
Or we have a really sneaky shark somewhere.
No, I was reading all about it. There have been all females in this, and they are actually capable of a process that is called parthenogenesis, which is...
oh, that's weird. So is your mom.
You know, they used to call trampolines jumpolines until your mom went on one, Michael. Italian shark has a virgin birth, which is an awesome animal story. It's from friend of the show, Father Nathan Monk, and we reached 174 people with that. So that is a rare triple combo post with the most animal closing story, and you can find it on the FB for TB weekly memecast just by searching for Jesus H. Shark. And that has been the news from Facebook for the Blind for July 26th, 2022. And now on to my beautiful co-host, Michael, with some ostensibly funny memes.
I just want to point out that virgin birth there should be in at least air quotes. It doesn't have to be in actual quotes, but it should be at least in like virgin birth. I'm still saying we got to fucking...
I love how after an entire season of COVID where everybody became a virologist, you have decided to become a sharkologist.
I want you to understand that I just believe nature finds a way.
Here's are extra inbred. You know how inbred people are in Arkansas? These sharks are extra inbred when they do parthenogenesis.
Yeah, that's really fucking weird. That's something to think about. Extra inbred. So this is the ugly side of Tumblr. Friend of the show, if you're not following the ugly side of Tumblr, you're really missing out. And they have posted a picture of this bottle of alcohol here. The picture has a skull wearing a sombrero. And it says vodkila. A mixture of vodka and tequila. The first comment says, "Don't just erase bad memories, wipe your entire hard drive." And the next comment says, "I've never been more afraid of a liquid in my life. Who wants to do shots with me?" Whew. No thanks. want to let you know that after Marjorie Taylor Greene, a couple things happened today, or this week. Marjorie Taylor Greene said that the Republican Party needs to let the American people know that it is the party of Christian nationalism. Like, we didn't fucking know that. We don't want to be in your weird little cult. But that made Christian nationalism actually trend on Twitter, which I think is great. I think Christian nationalism gets stronger when we don't talk about it. So fucking yes, let's talk about it. I got a couple of memes here from it throughout the show.
Nice.
Christian nationalism is, just for the record here, not a friend of the show. So
blasphemy.
It's also blasphemy and heresy and sort of imposter Christianity, which is important. Actually, I was going to mention that on CNN.com. This is another thing that made Christian nationalism trend. There was an article by John Blake that claims an imposter Christianity is seeking to sink democracy. And that imposter Christianity, they go on to explain, is Christian nationalism, Christo-fascism. Really, really important article. I'm excited about it. Happy it's out there. This is a picture of a swastika, but one of the parts of the swastika has been drawn down so that it is longer, like a cross. Actually, sort of looks like a lowercase f. But yeah, it's just a cross mixed with a swastika, if you can imagine. It says, the enemy has made itself known. Fight Christo-fascism.
That is a seriously twisted cross.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a good metaphor for what they are. This is 90s kids 90s, not 90s kids 90s, which is what I thought it was for a long time. 90s kids 90s. And it's a picture of a young lady, and she's pulling down the top of her ripped and torn jeans to reveal that she has a tan line that is the Playboy bunny. It's a sticker. She wore a Playboy bunny sticker and then got a tan. And in impact font, it says, if she tanned like this, she's for the streets. There's any 90s kids here, you already know. Lindsay, they says, please don't ever speak to me about math. I have moved on. This is a picture of, I forget what this goddamn thing was called, but it's like the big monster from Stranger Things in season 1. And it's in the sky, and it says, man, I hate living in Indiana, dog. Here's a picture of Saul from Better Call Saul. And he's arguing. He's got both hands out explaining something. And he says, in all fairness, Your Honor, my client was in goblin mode. Sound defense. I got about 4 more. Actually, I think I have like 6 more memes. We're about halfway through here. Glow, fuck yourself. Friend of the show, Glow, fuck yourself. Glad to see you in round 1. Post a tweet by the Queen of Sighs who says, mushrooms are such weird little guys. They're tasty. They're hallucinogenic. They're poisonous. They are one. They are many. They will outlive us. You will eat them. They will eat you. And some of them look like little houses. All true things about mushrooms. Dumb bitch juice. Friend of the show, dumb bitch juice. As a picture of Elon Musk, this picture was pretty famous this week. In fact, I think it comes up a couple times in my set tonight. Look, I'm not going to shame anybody's body. I just want to say Elon Musk is not shaped like anybody else. I think that's fair to say. And there's a picture of Elon and coming out of the water, and he looks very strange. His body's just shaped really weird. And it says, you can always make fun of narcissistic billionaires. It is always morally correct.
Hell yeah.
And I think that's the right answer. This is a picture of a cat next to the hammer and sickle star, like communist symbol. And it says, when you both nut at the same time, and then at the bottom it says, hourgasm. I don't feel like your laugh was genuine, but it's hourgasm.
I got it. I loved it.
They're communists, and they each according to his need.
Dude, I was sharing enjoyment of that meme with you simultaneously.
This is All right, I'm going to read this. This is on President Trump's favorite letterhead. Former President Trump says, "Save America, President Donald J. Trump." Former President Donald J. Trump. It is dated July 21st, 2022. Statement by Donald J. Trump, 45th President of the United States of America. It says, Joe Biden, who many have said is our worst president, has come down with a case of the China virus despite being vaccinated. I hope Sleepy Joe is able to bounce back quickly, much as I was. Doctors described my fight against the China virus as Herculean, and not meaning the woke Disney Hercules, but rather the Kevin Sorbo one, the Lou Ferrigno one as well. Joe, I wish you a speedy recovery, though you are taking America in the wrong direction. No one wants Kamala.
Wait, was this real?
So, I'm so glad you asked. No, this wasn't real. The reason that I've included it in the show is because you had to ask if this was real.
Right?
And that's the devastating thing about this is like, this very well could have been an official statement from former President Donald J. Trump, and none of us would have been surprised. Look, this is not a meme. This is just a picture of me.
Aww.
I'm walking down the aisle of a wedding I officiated in the great state of Indiana. Wild and mysterious Indiana. Don't know if you've heard of it. But look, the wind was blowing, and I was afraid that it was going to blow my stole over my shoulder. So I held my arm out so that my stole, like if it blew, it would just blow like between my arm and my body. And I don't know why I have this expression on my face. Look, the only thing that I know is that when my daughter saw this picture, she said I look like a Jedi without a lightsaber. And unfortunately, I think that's right. So moving on, this is my last meme for round one. Dumb bitch juice back for another. The woman kneeling down at the confessional. The priest looks exhausted in the confessional. The woman says, "And last night, I put bread down my blouse and pretended I was a toaster." And the priest responds, once again, weird, but not a sentence. And
I want that
all right,
job.
Eric, let's see what you got. No, you don't, dude. That job sucks.
Yeah, that's probably true. Those booths look like they smell funny. Never even been in one, but it just looks like it.
Dude, you don't even get paid. You just...
Well, apparently there's fringe benefits, but I don't know anything about that. So, this one I just want to remind everybody that for the trademarked Act 1, the Wholesome Round, a trademarked, registered, patented, copyrighted segment of Facebook for the Blind, want to remind you that July 20th this past week was the anniversary of the first landing on the moon, 1969. Because science is awesome. Human beings are fan-freaking-tastic. Yeah, I forget every once in a while. By the way, too, I want to tell you guys that are too young for this, but when I was a tiny toddler, okay, this was going on, and people would point at the moon and say, "There's men up there," and I thought that they could see them. You know, like, I was like, you know, as a 2-year-old, you're going, oh, okay. I mean, I heard about the man on the moon. Now you're saying there's men. There's multiple men on, and you can see them. Anyway, I spent a lot of time looking at the sky, and it was wholesome, and it was wonderful, and there's the anniversary of it back when humans were cool. Hey, speaking of something funny, really like the good headlines here. About a week and a half ago, Bill de Blasio, the enormous goober whose only notable claim to fame is having once achieved the impossible, uniting the entirety of New York in a shared sense of utter disrespect and contempt, has wrapped up his time in office as mayor and is going to pull out of the race for governor of New York. So the headline is, "Area Man Takes Hint," which I thought was great. Absolutely great. This next post is from Chauncey Extreme. If you're not following Chauncey Extreme, you are missing out, my friend. Reposting Dr. Werner Krumkake, who says, Amazon, 1998. Hello, we sell books, but online. Amazon, 2023. Please return to your Prime house for your nightly Prime meal. Valued Prime citizen.
No shit.
June 2017. Still prescient. Thank you, Dr. Werner Krumkake. ProgressiveChristianity.org has posted, most Americans wouldn't know what socialism is, even if it directly deposited a Social Security check into their FDIC-insured bank accounts. Thought that was a good follow-up.
Fucking right.
Corporate America, Socialist America. Corporate America, Socialist America. This next one is from Dumb Bitch Juice, friend of the show. Dumb Bitch Juice making... Is this the third appearance in the show? Third appearance in the show?
Third in round one.
Yeah, in round one. Wow. Dumb Bitch Juice. Taking it to the mat. Reposting
dumb,
Eve at Eve Banshee, who says, why do they call it an autism spectrum disorder, in quotes, when I'm just over here vibing and stacking things? Bitch, I'll stack your canned vegetables. I'll stack your encyclopedias. I'll stack your grandparents. I'll stack your pets. I'll stack you. And Dumb Bitch Juice comments, y'all best believe I will create order up in here. I love it. I don't like Spectrum so much as I like superpower. Next up,
right.
friend of the show, George H. Cruikshank. George, who's been lost on an island at sea and not heard from for weeks. If anybody gets a bottle and a message, please let us know. George, friend of the show, posts Jimmy Jenkins saying, Arizona Department of Corrections Director David Shin just told the state legislature we can't shut down private prisons because too many communities rely on the cheap labor they provide and they would collapse without it. The department... Shin says the department does more than just incarcerate. There are services this department provides to local jurisdictions, like prison labor, at a rate most jurisdictions can't afford. If you were to remove those workers, some of those jurisdictions would collapse. Again, shaking my head and making a dog sound like Scooby-Doo. Because, what? And I just commented, I bet there's some outstanding attorney speak for this from the pre-Civil War days. About how, but if we do away with slavery, those communities will collapse. I mean, what? Okay, moving on. Friend of the show, Meg Ellison. Meg Ellison, keep all those cards and letters coming. We love you. She says, deeply disgusted to discover that in order to get good at a thing, I have to do it badly first.
Oh, no.
And by the way, too, I was actually having this in conversation with Bryce last night, which is why this meme is especially funny to me. Because I said, Bryce, every time I say you should have a podcast, you make this face. You make this scrunched up face like you ate something bad. And I was like, what is that? And he said a bunch of excuses and finally got to, cuz I don't want to be like, you and Phil and you've got like 13 listeners. And I was like, oh, I get it. You want to jump over the part where you're bad and sucky at this thing at first and go directly to the Mark Maron rockstar phase? Okay.
Right.
Got it. And dude...
Mark Maron, who started off with a radio show first. I mean, it's not like he started from his garage. He started with a huge fucking fan base. He was on that news network that Janine Garofalo started.
Oh, Air America? Oh, fun.
Yeah, he was on Air America, right.
Dude, and I think I've told you, because I am Kevin Bacon, I gave the CEO of Air America a ride in my car.
A blowjob. Oh.
A blowjob in the car on the road from Willard Airport to Cranard Center.
While you were driving, which is amazing.
Yeah. Not only am I hyper-networked, I am super talented, and I can multitask like a motherfucker. Moving on.
Standing? What?
Dude, all I'm going to say is I have a moonroof. Moving on. Friend of the show, Ben Bannock. Wait, I actually looked it up because I heard him say it on his podcast.
It's Ben Bannock.
Ben Bannock.
Ben
Bannock.
We're actually friends with him.
Ben Banish says.
Ben Banaka.
Beanie Banaka says, about 10 years ago, when I was in a very new to stand-up, somebody did me a favor and I got an open up for Nikki Glazer in my hometown. I was in awe of how funny she was and really impressed by her intense touring schedule. I did well enough and she crushed. After the show, we hung out and she was cool as shit. Just a super fun hang. So she and the other comics came out to my parents' house, which despite my mom being a huge comedy nerd, felt kind of weird and high schooly. I pulled through the shyness and fought my impulse to disappear into the night with a cigarette. At one point, Nikki and I were talking and she sat down on the hot hot tub cover. It went creak, and she dropped 4 inches. It was just a foam thing. It's not meant to hold more than a couple pounds. But I remembered she had some pretty severe food issues, so I froze up. Said, I think I just broke your parents' hot tub cover, said Nikki. No, I said, no, I don't think so. Really? It looks really broken. We stared at the broken cover for a moment. No, it does that. It does that? I think it's broken. I can pay for it. No, I said, looking her right in the eye. It just does that sometimes.
I love him.
I cannot think of a more perfect anecdote for the middle of Act 1, the wholesome round. This one made us all angry, I think, because I only found out now, that in December, okay, there was an alleged Sasquatch sighting in central Illinois, okay? There was an alleged Sasquatch ceiling just northwest of Springfield, okay? And the guy says that unlike the usual image of Bigfoot, he was fast, athletic, and massive. And this was in the Chicago Tribune. I have never been so angry at the blessed algorithm as I am right now. How? And dude, I shared this with TD. I shared this with you. I was just like, your algorithm sucks. Everybody keeps talking about big data, and people send me ads for stuff. Why didn't I get this story? Why?
You're the Sam Squatch guy. And you're the Illinois guy. So it seems like a Sam Squatch Illinois thing would be right up your alley. I don't know.
I'm so furious. I mean, I pay my taxes. You know?
Listen, when I was in Nashville, I got a Facebook ad from the algorithm.
Yeah.
And it was like, hey, they're hiring cage dancers at the local gay club. And I was like, how the fuck does Facebook know I lost weight? You just don't know, man.
That's some funny stuff right there. All right, moving on. Hey, remembering old time posts. George Jetson was a 40-year-old dad in 2062. That means he was born this year.
Aww.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I have
things are gonna change a lot in his life.
I have posted a number of things about this, but one of the things that I really would like to make supremely clear is that our standard picture of the future, the future with flying cars and all that crap that people talk about, the standard image of the future, the Jetsons, went off the air in 1968. Okay? We have got to update our images of the attainable utopian future. My God, people. All right.
68, famously one shy of 69.
True. Nice. Moving on, Facebook for the blind, FB for TB, a weekly meme cast was posting this picture of Skeletor holding up one of those nice brick cell phones from back in the
Jack
90s.
Moore's phone.
And it says, start every phone call with my phone is about to die. That way you can hang up on them whenever you want to.
Way ahead of you, Skeletor. Way fucking ahead of you. Been saying that since the phone was plugged into the wall.
Absolutely brilliant. All right, 2 more in the wholesome round here. Graston Verpit at Snorkeruskus posts the movie, hashtag The Shining. The movie The Shining couldn't be made today because the Here's Johnny reference is so old. What's he supposed to say? Welcome to the Seth Meyers Show? Doesn't work. And this stirred up quite a bit of controversy on my page. And the number one answer, picture of Jack Nicholson busting in. It says, welcome to Flavor Town.
That's awesome.
Wraps up my wholesome round 1.
Well done, sir.
Thank you, sir.
I can safely say that is not the worst you've done.
Thank you. I masturbated today.
Okay. All right. Well, hey, listen, Eric, if you can.
Dear God, no.
Excuse me.
No,
Whoa.
Oh.
No.
Not laughter, Kenneth.
Ha ha ha.
Listen, I will say though that if that was how you actually laughed, that would be fucking funny. Like if every time somebody made you laugh, it was those words. I would
ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha.
Eric, I was gonna say you can just reach one person. Choose the memes. Oink Oink Communications Limited. has a picture of a cop with his arms out, and it says, when you cultivate a culture of us versus them for years, and now most people are against you, and the cop looks confused, and then the subtitles say, confused oinking. Because he's a fucking pig.
That's fun.
Heather Thomas, at Heather Thomas as fuck, says, warning, do not send your kids to college in forced birth states.
Interesting.
And this one's not much of a laugher, but it is kind of a thinker.
It
So, like, do you think colleges are going to be hurt by this? Like, at first I was like, I wonder if colleges will actually be hurt by this. Because I went to a college that's in a forced birth state. That would be a little school called Vanderbilt. And here's the thing, they're fascist as fuck down there. But then, so at first I was like, this is interesting. Is this going to hurt these colleges? Will they actually get involved? And then I remembered, no, man, these people are probably already fucking rich. Like, if you're sending your kid out of state to go to college, then you know you're not talking about the community college. So, like, all they'll do is just fly their daughters home. So, yeah, I don't know. Heather, we're still getting to know you. I like the take, I'm not sure it's relevant. Did I share this one last week? It doesn't matter. It's worth it. Westchester, Pennsylvania, Fox 29. There's a anchor lady, and she's standing outside in the snow, and she says, the storm has already blown several transformers. That's the first panel. The storm has already blown several transformers. The second panel is just a picture of a satisfied transformer. And that one comes to you compliments of Dumb Bitch Juice. Fourth time this show.
Nice.
Vermin Supreme, friend of the show, Vermin Supreme. Vermin, I'll never not vote for you. He says, I struggle to articulate my political stance sometimes, but this picture of a possum screaming at a bald eagle pretty much sums it up. And this is indeed a picture of some kind of carcass and bald eagle standing next to it, and a fucking possum that is giving that eagle an earful.
I love that.
This was my runner-up for my post with the most. But since it's a runner-up and not a post with the most, it's going in round 2.
Oh.
I said, TJ at 3 years old, maybe stars are thoughts becoming real. And then Bash, my son at 3 years old, says the itsy bitsy spider pooped a twinkle star.
Nice.
And then laughs maniacally.
Dude.
And I posted this with the heading, I love them equally.
Dude, I copied and pasted this just in case you forgot to post this. 'Cause it was so good. And then you texted it to me, and I was like, oh, he's using that one. I can't steal his own meme. Although I thought about it. I fucking did.
Yeah. Wouldn't be the first time.
Nope.
Beautiful. Trash Can Paul, friend of the show, Trash Can Paul. Trash Can, we love you. We miss you. We hope you're feeling all right, getting better soon. He says, God gave his toughest battle, paying child support, to his strongest soldier, me, and I must suffer in silence. Spend it all on gas station scratch-offs. Trash Can Paul in with another one. 2 in round 2. It's a twofer. A text conversation, and it says hi, and at 12:43 a.m. And then at 4 o'clock p.m., there's the response. Hi. And the first person messaging writes, tease nervously. How are you today, pretty? And 5 hours later, the person just responds with a question mark. So Trash Can still got his game. This was a pretty famous meme like a year ago, and it's a picture of a boxer standing up, and then then the very next is a picture of the boxer sitting down drinking water. So the boxer's standing up and he's got his gloves raised, and he says, "Okay, I'm gonna cut off the toxic people in my life." And then he's sitting down drinking water, saying, "Damn, it's my family."
You know, I always say that God gave us families so we'd have to learn to deal with people we could never be friends with.
Yeah, that is one way to think about it.
My
I think
mother
one or two
hates
more.
that joke.
This is gonna be my last one for this round, and it's this is actually a picture of Homelander, and he's looking very intense, very serious. And it says, "You're in her DMs. I'm at the lowest point in my life."
Oh.
That's it for me for round 2. Let's see what you got, Eric.
Excellent. 1 second. I'll just take this out in post. Dear God. All right. Getting into it. Wait, where's my button? Button. Where's my button? There we are. I've only been doing this show for 2 years. Hey, how you doing?
In your chair and
This one is from round 2. The irreverent round, I believe we once called it. So this is a post on my page from L. Sendifer, rationality expert at L. Sendifer, who says, a friend just shared a line from a student paper, quote, despite being made in the late 1900s, many of the themes of The Matrix are still relevant today, unquote. And I can literally feel my body decaying in the grave.
oh, I hate it. I hate this. Yeah. The late 1900s.
I know. It's like, oh, your accuracy pisses me off. This next one is from Credible Hulk, the friend of the show, Credible Hulk. Credible Hulk, keep up the good work. Reposting Valerie Earnshaw, PhD, at UDS Stigma Lab, who says, I need to do a better job proofreading my CV. Seems I've had a paper on there on, quote, undiagnosed STIs among men who have had sex with me, unquote, for the past year. Undiagnosed STIs among men who've had sex with me. That is, I mean, I would read that paper. Don't get me wrong. I don't know if I'd cite it, but I'd read it. This next one is a nice little life hack. It says, how to include Dungeons and Dragons in your resume. Relevant skills, team building. Met with peers for twice monthly creativity and conflict resolution exercises. Gained necessary experience for character and skill development. And learned to quickly assess situations and collaborate to find the best practice solutions. Mwah!
Yeah, nice.
Chef's kiss, D&D. Did D&D write this? On this day about 3 years ago, posted this in Comedy Shorts. This is actually from Full Frontal on TBS, and it was regarding the Mueller hearings back when we were all upset, you know, that there were all these investigations and all these criminals in D.C. And it's a picture of a donkey with a new slogan that says, Democratic Party slogan, somebody should do something, but let's wait to see if it's okay. three years ago. Hey, still fresh today. Moving on. I love this beautiful picture. It's just all memed out in psychedelic colors, all smeared around like flaming flowers and just like you're on acid. And then it's just captioned, you are not a dumpster fire. You are a multidimensional dumpster phoenix. You can feel this one like sort of throbbing if you look at it the right way. Moving on. Now, Michael and I get into this bit about posts with the most. So I'm going to do a little presentation here called Why I'm Right. This is probably my post with the absolute most. It's a picture from Tommy Sunshine, at Tommy Sunshine. Says, maybe now y'all understand why we went so hard for Bernie in 16 and 20, because we knew all of this was going to happen and we tried our best to prevent it. Reposted from Great Socialist Cat Memes, July 6th. You'll note here that it has 297 comments, 3 shares, and it's got 58 reactions because there's no better triggering word in the world than socialist or Democrat or Bernie. Really, all of them really freaking good. Notice here that we've got 80 replies to, of course, you refused to vote for Hillary when she got the nomination, in which case you're part of why this is happening. And everybody spent the next 80 comments pointing fingers and blaming each other. So if you're looking for more engagement on your page, figure out a way to work in 16, 20, Bernie, communism, socialism, blah, blah, blah. So, you know, but, I mean, really not funny. Not funny in any way, shape, or form. Did look at some stuff here. We've actually used almost all of these, including the George one got 99 engagements there, George Jetson. This one actually got some of the most. Look at this. We've got 35 reactions, 5 comments, and 49 shares. 49 shares? What are we talking about here? It's Robert Reich, saying meat prices increased by double digits. Tyson's CEO says they're asking customers to pay for inflation. Meanwhile, Tyson's posted $1 billion in profit last year, a 48% increase from the first quarter of 2021. Do not be fooled. This is about corporate greed. It always is. Again,
Yep.
not funny, but that's what people share. And 49 shares, you got to admit. I mean, in the last one we're looking at here, we're looking at 99 engagements, 297 comments. I don't know how to really weigh all these next to each other. 49 shares is a lot of shares, but none of these are funny. Now this one, on the other hand, this one had 65 people reached, 8 reactions, 3 likes, 4 ha-has, because it says, a sign in a window says, the worst part about drug addiction is ending up religious.
Oh, that's good.
That's funny.
Oh, that's so good. Dude, the more you know recovery, the more you understand just how fucking true that is.
My favorite post was Craig, friend of the show, Craig, who's been to the show many times, and I wish you'd come back, Craig, because I love you and you're cuddly. He says, don't get me started. I think all of us who were raised that way, and have met some drug addicts, we feel it. You know what I'm talking about. Anyway, I thought it was very interesting. But my point is that, I can't just use a straight linear system on most. And these are from multiple different sources. My own page, the Facebook for the Blind page, and I even go to issues as well. So, yeah, it's a real crazy thing there. So, sorry, but I'm right, you're wrong. Just deal with it, Michael. There are many, many posts with the most. This next one
You
is...
say something, I fell asleep.
Yeah. It's one of my favorites from Mike Sachs this week, at Mike Sachs Esquire, who says, true story, I was 2 years behind Josh Hawley in that fancy post-college teaching fellowship at an elite 500-year-old London high school. First thing one teacher asked me when I showed up, ? You're not a fascist like that Joshua Hawley, are you? This was 2004.
Jesus.
Yeah. And what was really fun is that friend of the show, Tab, a friend of mine, says, this is for real. He is, quote, from the small town about 15 minutes from me. And I said, whoa, so did news of his bad reputation reach you there? He said, like you wouldn't believe. There were some news articles when he was running and used the town to act like he was just a regular small town guy. The comments from locals were priceless. I remember a lot of, he was a spoiled rich kid. She says, oh. And the local town Facebook page was on fire, as I can only imagine. I'm sure it was. Anyway, 2 more for round 2, and moving on to our third round, and then our post with the most. This one is from friend of the show, Curtis. You remember Curtis. Love Curtis. He's reposted this, and he says, every single time. It doesn't even have to be at work, just in general. He's posting Dakari Savage saying, white people at work always be playing a rap from 2005 and then look at you and smile. Curtis is like, every single time.
Here's the thing. I wish this was I want to live in the world though where this is the problem we have to deal with. Yeah.
I know, right?
It's goofy and we're terrible, but they're trying, man.
I know, right, dude? When I'm at the stop sign and I got my rap from 2005 thumping and rattling the trunk, I want to look over and smile, but I can't. I can't make eye contact.
That's the difference between a progressive and a liberal. We fight the urge.
Dude, I have to say, though, the last time I was driving, I got stopped at the train tracks and I had my windows down, and the guy next to me said, hey, man, you playing Shaft? Hell yeah, brother. I didn't even stop myself, but I said brother, and then I couldn't make eye contact again.
Dude, I pulled up. I'll never forget. I was at this stoplight, and I'm listening to Bob Marley. And this black guy pulls up next to me in a Jeep, and he's listening to Bob Marley. And we look at each other, and then we give each other that smile that just says "You're cool."
Right. And then moving on. Yeah, absolutely. All right, getting to the last meme for this Act 2, and then I'm handing it back to you, Michael. This is a 4-panel posted by Occupy Wall Street, and it is from They Live with Roddy Piper. Roddy Piper is in the first panel pulling down his sunglasses and looking at a billboard that says, Defend Billionaires. And it's a picture of Elon Musk doing the prayer hands. Defend billionaires. We're just like you. Then he puts on the sunglasses, Roddy Piper does, and we see the alien, and it says, Please don't eat me.
Yeah.
And this was Occupy Wall Street, passing on friend of the show, Intersectionell. Intersectionell has been killing it lately. If you're not following Intersectionell, you are missing out. And that is my last post for Act 2. Handing it back to you, Mr. Michael.
I got to say about They Live, I went back and rewatched that
Yeah,
like a couple years ago, and it fucking holds up.
it does.
That movie is awesome, man. So these memes were going around a lot. It's these crudely drawn little Kirby-looking characters. And it just says Little Miss and then something after it. Like Little Miss Cries at Work was probably the most popular I saw today or this week. But this one says Little Miss eated a fiber optic cable, and then over the face of the Kirby, there's just a picture of a shark eating a fiber optic cable.
Nice.
I don't know why it's not accredited here, but this is definitely trash can fucking Paul. Here is a picture of Homelander, and he looks very angry in front of an American flag, and it says, if she's smiling at other guys' texts, make sure she's crying at yours. Be different.
That's
okay. All right, this is from somebody. I intentionally cropped their name off because, we know each other outside of here.
Sure.
But it says, it's a picture of a kid mowing the lawn. And the way he's dressed, it's got to be the 80s. And it says, Go Fund Me, 1982. Back from the days when you wanted something, you fucking worked for it. And I commented, look at him paying for his sister's chemo.
Oh!
Look, I know that's fucked up, but here's the thing, man. GoFundMe, the sad thing about it is, like,
Yeah.
There's so many people who are trying to pay off their medical bills on GoFundMe. And, like, we just don't have to live this way, folks.
Dude, it's so weird, too, man, because, like, I don't know if I mentioned to you that some people think that a podcast means that it's about true crime. Literally, people say to me, oh, you have a true crime show? I'm like, no, I have a podcast.
What?
Well, it doesn't mean the same thing. Like, in the same freaking way, man, people, oh, man, now I lost my train of thought on your meme because I'm doing two things at once. What was your last meme again?
Well?
Oh, it was GoFundMe. My parents literally thought that GoFundMe was for medical. That's
shit.
That's what they thought it was. I was like, no, you can do it for like a business or art. And they're like, oh, I only know about it for medical. And I was like, oh my God.
Yeah. I mean, I would love to see the numbers, but like, it was bad enough that the CEO made a statement about it pretty publicly. So just saying like, Jesus, like this, we started this so people could like get funding for their art projects and shit.
Right.
This one, being an Aquarius, I felt this deeply. And TD, you brought this up earlier in the show or before the show. Aquarius, the way I mastered detachment is scary. I can act like I never knew you. And I gotta say that not only is it true, I did this in mid-conversation on the phone. I decided I was done with somebody, and I literally said, listen, I'm afraid you've got the wrong number. And they were like, what? And I was like, yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know who you are. You got the wrong person. And we'd been talking on the phone for at least 30 minutes. They're like, Michael, what are you saying? And I was like, there's nobody here by that name.
Oh.
And I fucking hung up and never, ever talked to them ever again. That was our last time speaking.
Wow.
So yeah, I could just act like I never knew you. You're gone. This is a picture of Street Sharks, 90s show Street Sharks, all huddled around a computer. And it says, me and the boys logging on to AOL to message chicks. This is way too real. 90s Kids 90s has a picture of Corey, what's his name? Corey Feldman? From Boy Meets World? And yeah, I think it's Feldman. And
Matthews.
He's Matthews, Corey Matthews. Yeah, who's Feldman? What show was that?
Different movie star.
Oh, that's an actual movie star, huh? Anyway, Corey Matthews, and he's sitting, he's little, he's like, I don't know, 12, and he's sitting next to Mr. Feeney, and it says, what it feels like when you're tight with your coworker who's only 2 years older than you. I sent this to my buddy, the guy I share an office with, and he's 5 years younger than me, and, we're great friends. And I sent it to him, and I was like, "It's us, buddy." And he was like, "Yeah, what are you, like 5 years older?" I was like, "Yeah, man, I feel like an old man."
Yeah, I feel attacked.
This is, yeah. It's okay, Mr. Feeney. You're our favorite librarian.
So
Here's
should you,
this
T.
picture. This picture is long to explain, but I'm gonna do my best here. It's a water pipe, like one coming from like the city main or something, and it's dripping a little bit, about halfway, along the length of it, and the drips are falling down into a very emaciated person's mouth. But the main thrust of the water coming out of the mouth of the pipe is flowing right into a big fat man's mouth. And the emaciated man is labeled pharma CEOs just trying to feed their families. And the fat man is labeled entitled insulin demanding glutton. This is I liked it because I think maybe this is how billionaires see the world. I don't know. It's Steve again, friend of the show. It's Steve again.
Nice.
Says me. Would you like some olive oil on the pasta? Customer. Is it extra virgin? Me, tearing up. No, it's the same price.
Oh my
Dude,
God.
I had to read this one like 3 times to fucking get it.
I get it.
To get that like at first it just doesn't quite make sense. Is it extra virgin? This is my last meme for the 3rd round, and this is a picture. Boy, there's a lot going on here. So this Steve, it's a man standing in the driveway in front of his, and he's standing behind his lawnmower, and right in front of his lawnmower, there's the word Steve written in grass. Then there's a picture of the lawnmower, and then there's his Labrador, and then there's this old man who is fucking flexing behind the lawnmower where he has mowed Steve into his driveway somehow. And it says, "This is the hardest residential flex I've ever seen. Old man dog leaf emoji." And Eric, let's see what you got for round 3 for our post with the most.
Round 3 coming at you so hard with a little bit of positivity. This one has gone around a couple of times and it's brilliant. It's from unbelievablepacts.com. It's just a picture of a train and it said, "Dutch trains run entirely on wind energy. One windmill running for an hour can power a train for 120 miles and around 5,500 trips are facilitated every day. The system allows for around 600,000 passengers to commute daily without any emissions." That's right, something that could save the planet is actually going on right now. Not like in the future when we develop something, when Elon gets around to it. No, it's actually happening right now. Yeah, in Holland. Isn't that cool? Yay. This other one I really like too, Dolores Cannon. I actually looked it up. It's a tribute page to Dolores Cannon because she has passed away. Dolores Cannon is a hypnotherapist that does weird stuff like remote viewing and past life regressions and all kinds of fun stuff, and her fans are keeping the page alive. I love it. The picture of a gleaming city with like happy people in it, very futuristic, flying cars, space stations, the whole 9 yards, and it says, "Within our lifetime, we will see all the world's lakes, oceans, rivers, and waterways restored to purity, as well as soil and farmland. We will cease using toxic chemicals on our food. Pharmaceutical companies will be dismantled. Holistic healing practices will be the norm. Governments will be eradicated, and the people of each nation will govern themselves. Clean, free energy will be utilized. Big changes are coming." And I was like, oh my God, that's so peaceful and optimistic. That's amazing. And then, of course, a bunch of people in the comments just immediately start crapping on it and like, or the rivers will be polluted, or they'll be destroyed, or everyone goes Mad Max. And I'm like, notice again, everybody immediately can go to a negative image of the future with Mad Max. But besides the Jetsons from 1968, we don't have anything we can use to talk about a cool, clean future. So anyway, get to work on that, people. Positive futures with brand names and easy ways to communicate it. Wanted to post something that was positive. You've seen a lot of stuff about the Supreme Court and Roe v. Wade and all this type of stuff. I'd just like to point out that there is a way to get around this. It's true. It's called the ratification and entry into the archives of the Equal Rights Amendment. That's right, the Equal Rights Amendment. It's been ratified by enough states. Did you know that? That's right, and if you had an Equal Rights Amendment, then all women would have equal rights, and you could go at it from that angle with the constitutional amendment instead of trying to go after it with the right of privacy, which is only established by court precedent. So there's this whole constitutional amendment that's been ratified by enough states, and all that has to happen is the archivist of the United States, which is usually a librarian, just has to enter it into the historical record. Isn't that amazing? It all comes down to just one librarian who works for Joe Biden. Just has to do a thing. That's all. Maybe. So, yeah. Seems really, you're like, why am I hearing about this on a dumb Zoom comedy show? I know. Why? Why aren't you hearing this from CNN? I don't know. Moving on. FB for TB, a weekly meme cast. And if you're not following FB for TB, a weekly meme cast, you are missing out. Feminici. At Feminici is posting these loony Christian signs listing all the types of sinners who will go to hell: abortionists, Satanists, gamblers, fornicators. Always make me feel bad because I know I'd fall under a lot more categories if I just got out more. It's introvert shaming. That's what it is.
That is right. Yeah.
Passed along from premium internet curation. And if you're not following premium internet curation, what do you got? Basic internet curation? What do you just got the lower tier? Dude, get it together. Prioritize. Moving on. Friend of the show, Mackenzie, posts this from KC Kelleher. It says, my name is spelled in the email. 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 Reposted by Tanya Hennessy, who's then posted, hi, Tanya, misspelled. My name is spelled in the email. Workers' Party of Massachusetts passes along, if job ads were honest, it says fast-paced equals understaffed. No salary stated equals terrible salary. Room for advancement equals managed to death. Let's stop playing games. With an applause afterwards. Yes, let's. This one got a tremendous amount of engagement on my page, about 16 reactions here. We've got two columns of photos. One is a column of California. The other is a column of China. And in the first column, in 2010, California saying, I should build high-speed rail. And China says, I should build high-speed rail. 2012, Elon says, no, cancel high-speed rail. Make it a hyperloop instead. China just sits there smiling. 2015, California smiles and says nothing. China says 8,000 miles built. 2018, California, nothing. China says 16,000 miles built. 2021, Elon Musk says we'll have a prototype in just a few more years. In 2021, China says 25,000 miles of high-speed rail built, passed along by great socialist cat memes. And as you can imagine, as soon as you post this, the little Elon stands immediately start climbing on and saying things like, they're still working on it full time. It's just not in the news. Last I heard, we were just 3 to 5 minutes away. I was like, how did you not own yourself by reading the meme, Jim?
No shit.
We'll have a prototype in just a few years. That's the punchline of the joke, Jim. You just repeated that non-ironically. What the hell? I mean, did you just get to Facebook yesterday? I posted that low-rent underground Tesla Uber service in Vegas had traffic jams. This guy's a carny. Wake up, people.
Yeah, no shit.
Jeez. Moving on. At front page, at LJ Lejon says, once said, nah, I'm straight, when being asked if I wanted something to drink, and I got accused of being homophobic by a gay guy. Gotta point this out. This was all about black people being misunderstood by white people. So again,
yeah.
Front page says, I once said, nah, I'm straight, when being asked if I wanted something to drink, and got accused of being homophobic. Black people of the world, I'm so sorry for all of us. This next portion is a run of George memes, because George doesn't get around to post them himself. So George, friend of the show, George Cruikshank, posts this picture that says, shout out to this Harlem cafe. concealing their B rating from the health department as a brunch sign. The B rating's got it just printed out in the same font right next to it. Sunday and Runch. Sunday brunch. I was like, well done, Harlem Cafe. This next one comes from friend of the show, George Cruikshank. Actually, the whole section is going to be George memes. And it's a post from Bobby Lee at Bobby Lee Live saying, I just saw Nope in the movie theater. And it's a fucking masterpiece. Thanks for the invite at Jordan Peele. And plus, I just threw popcorn at the back of Bill Burr's head. Bill Burr turning around, going, whoa! He's got his lips open like, ew!
He's like he's losing his shit.
It's awesome. Absolutely awesome. Again, from George, he's reposted Folk Post Shit Posting 2, The Reckoning, saying, Grandmaster Trash says, every morning I get up at 2 and shower with my suit on to save soap, and I jog down to the interstate to my office under the bridge. I stand with my coworkers in our dripping suits and our extreme teeth, chanting the economy, the economy. At 1, we fire each other and freebase the US dollar. This was actually posted from Schizophrenic Order of the Piss Dawn, which I'm telling you, man, there are so many references in this meme. It is so deep, I want to diagram it instead of like doing this show. I really do. But
Yeah.
we got to move on. Moving on, 4-panel from friend of the show, George. Again, this is a 4-panel of a picture of a DJ, man with headphones and a microphone. 4-panel of a DJ saying, you're listening to the Eternal Monologue FM with me, DJ Subconscious, playing all your thoughts nonstop, uninterrupted, 24 hours a day. From classics like, why did I say that? And golden oldies like, am I a horrible person? To today's hottest hits, what the hell am I doing with my life? And am I hungry or bored? Stay tuned. This one's a classic, and I think we might have even done it on the show last week, but it's a series of tweets that have been compiled together brilliantly, reposted by George, entitled, Nobody Wants to Work Anymore, a brief history of capitalists complaining that nobody wants to work for starvation wages. It starts off with 2022. According to a new survey released by Tiny Pulse, 1 in 5 executive leaders agree with the statement, nobody wants to work. These same leaders cite a lack of response to job blah, 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 2014, 2006, 1999, nobody wants to work anymore, Cecil said. 1979, nobody wants to work anymore, disgusted businessman. 1937, nobody wants to work anymore, there is work, it is reported, blah, blah, blah. 1916, he answered, the real reason that food scarcity is nobody wants to work as hard as they used to. Nah. And my favorite recently, Alan Duchalniers at the Finite Infinite JPEG replies with a picture of a coelacanth, the first fish coming up onto the shore a million years ago, and it says, nobody wants to work anymore.
Yeah.
Shut up, capitalist pig. All right, moving on. Feminazi. Oh, I already did that one. Nuts. All right, moving on. 3 more left. Give a Shift About Nature is reposted Roxy Horror saying, living well is the best revenge. The second best revenge is carefully removing plants from someone's garden and replacing their lawn gnomes with slightly larger lawn gnomes so they appear to be growing in size from eating their plants. Oh, love it. 2 more for this segment. Friend of the show, Kate, posts this one from @Nita_XO. Says, I hate cancel culture. Imagine God canceling you because you did or said the wrong thing. And Rihanna is Jamaican replies, the first Bible story is God canceling 2 people over an apple. Laughing my ass off. What? First commenter, Charlotte, says God is the OG canceller. Kate captioned it, I'm pretty sure God canceled every living being on the planet save one family and the animals so they could get into their ark. God also canceled all firstborn males of Egypt. Just saying.
Yeah.
And last for mine, this is a poster of a billboard that I posted on Facebook for the Blind saying, worst billboard for a liquor store ever, or best. It says, Legion Liquors, nobody likes a quitter. Michael.
Jesus. Nobody likes a quitter. Wow. Yeah, that's fucking great, dude.
Just for you. Woo! Breathing issues.
All right, are we ready for the post with the most?
I believe we are ready for the post with the most, sir.
Here it comes. My post with the most this week. It's a picture of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and I don't know their names, but one guy, the guy in the middle is talking. What's this guy's name? Mac, maybe? Mac's talking.
Don't watch the show.
People say, how do you stay so calm and level-headed while everyone else is freaking out over the economy? And then he says, these people have no idea how to live without money. They're what's called new poor. We're old poor.
Nice.
No surprise that everybody in my friend list was like, that's me. We're old poor. You got this. We're going to be just fine. We've been poor a long time.
That is really funny. Oh my god! I think even Justin has a bit that's like that. That's very good. It's just like, yeah, like, or there a lot of comedians, like, oh, you're on lockdown and you can't buy anything because nothing's open. Yeah, it's like being poor. It's like, how is this new?
Oh, you're like, oh, this is exactly like it was right now. It's just always been this way. This is no different. Everything just is okay. Yeah, like it's just normal bad. This is just normal bad.
Just normal bad. It's true. All right, getting on to my post with the most for this week. This one has a left-right, XY graph, I guess. And it's got the left, the center, and the right marked. But then as we go down, it's been repeated, and the center is crossed out, and the left moves over to the right, and then that's crossed out, and the left moves over to the center. And it's captioned, the long-term effects of voting for the lesser evil is that the left gets crossed out and it just continues to slide to the right. In the very last one, we see that the right has been extended further to the right. This got about 35 different reactions, 3 shares, a lot of people saying it. A lot of people bitching about the use of the words lesser evil. So I said, maybe swap the word evil for use of power. So this is the long-term effects of voting for the lesser use of power. White House, Senate, House, you dumb bastards. That was my post with the most.
Is that a show?
I believe that was a show. That was an episode of Facebook for the Blind for July 26, 2022. Thank you very much.
Love you, George. All right.
Thanks for listening to an episode of Facebook for the Blind. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.